Welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Today is Monday, January 13th. I'm Alison Donnelly.
And I'm Rob Churnside. Alison, welcome back.
Thank you.
Took a little jaunt, did you not?
I did. I went to Paris, and
What?
I ate
Paris?
Paris.
As in France?
As in France.
Wow.
Yeah, I had so much fun. We ate so much. I had escargot, I was telling you. I tried beef tartare. I had a whole food bucket list, and I pretty much checked everything off. The only thing I missed was a sweet crepe.
Escargot, you drench them in butter, right?
Yeah, it was like a garlic butter sauce. It was
That's
delicious.
pretty exotic. I think I might bring some exotic food in and eat it.
Yeah,
one of our upcoming shows.
Are you going to dig around in your backyard?
Yeah, Great idea.
Oh, good, can't wait.
Yeah, we can still dig because we haven't had winter.
That's true. Yeah, it's been. I mean, the weather was amazing yesterday. It was a nice change of pace, but it's a little confusing. Where is winter?
Yeah, well, who's the groundhog? He's confused.
Punxsutawney Phil.
He's confused.
Yeah, he will be very confused. So that's Groundhog Day is. I think it's the 2nd of February. It's always
coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So.
And
we'll see.
What if the bog turtle comes out of his swamp and sees his shadow? What happens there?
Oh, I think we just get more beer.
At Bog Turtle Brewery, opening Wednesday in Rising Sun.
Yeah, so that'll be Cecil County's newest brewery, though Bog Turtle itself isn't new. Bog Turtle has been open in Oxford, Pennsylvania for a while, and I can attest to their having pretty good beer.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited, and I'm sure that'll be a great thing. So they're going into Main Street in Rising Sun. I think that'll be an exciting thing for
that'll be great.
Rising Sun.
And Rising Sun, speaking of Rising Sun, tonight on the show, we have none other than our most recorded musician with the most appearances on the show, Dell Lord.
Yes.
He wrote 2 new songs.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, that's really exciting. Yeah, he is our most valuable musician.
Who else do we have tonight, speaking of valuable?
We have Alan McCarthy back with Dialog With Leadership, so we'll be talking to him about some education stuff, some crime stuff, and just regular updates. And then we have Bill KIlby talking about the Cecil Land Trust and what they've been up to. They've had a lot of new, exciting developments.
Awesome. It's going to be a great show, huh?
It's going to be a great show. I'm excited.
Great.
We'll be back after these messages. Good evening, and welcome back to Dialogue with Leadership on Cecil TV. We're back again with Dr. Alan McCarthy, County Executive. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for coming.
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Me
Happy
too.
New Year.
You too. A recent statewide report card rates Cecil County Public Schools' performance as average compared to other schools in the state. Though we know the metrics for these assessments are moving targets, so it's difficult to make an objective comparison. But with Cecil becoming such a leader throughout the state in terms of economic development, are there strategies to make it a leader in education as well?
Yes, there are. There are strategies in place, and one of the strategies to improve the physical sites of the schools. Mm-hmm. We basically have built a new school in Elkton, which is the Gilpin Manor Elementary School. We've recently broken ground for the Chesapeake City Elementary School, and we're procuring property now to relocate the middle school in Northeast and possibly the high school in the future. That's one of the first things we're going to do. We constantly are trying to improve the educational process by bringing in better teachers, more teachers, and one of the other aspects that we have to tend with is we have a high degree of people in special education. This has been brought about by mothers that have basically consumed lots of drugs while being pregnant. So many of these kids are special education kids, which require a great deal of attention and a great deal of financial resources. But we are constantly working to improve the educational process and basically educate our students to a much higher degree for the jobs that are becoming much more prevalent in Cecil County. Mm-hmm. We have huge developments in the Perryville area, now in the Northeast area, as well as Elkton. We've created over 4,500 new jobs, and we need a workforce which is capable of meeting the demands of these new businesses. We will continue to work to make things better. Concerning what you specifically asked about, Our position in terms of the educational testing is about the same as what it was. Some of the schools gained a couple points and some of them lost a couple stars. But one of the big problems is they've changed the testing metrics pretty much every year, so it's almost a moving target. You have no constant standard by which to grade the academic performance of the students because it's changed every single solitary year. And until it basically becomes a known factor, it'll be very difficult to determine the true efficiency and effectiveness of the educational departments.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
It does. Unfortunately, Cecil TV missed Cecil Night this year. So, as of course you know, it's an annual event on the eve of legislative session beginning, and it's a pilgrimage for the movers and shakers in Cecil County. So it's a chance to put focus on the county's legislative priorities. Can you talk about some of the county's legislative priorities for this year?
Yes, we have many legislative priorities, but the number one priority right now is basically the infrastructure in the Bainbridge BDC, which is Bainbridge Development Corporation, which is in Port Deposit, Maryland. We are basically at the threshold of breaking ground. We have people that are interested in building many large businesses there. But we need to put in the water and the wastewater infrastructure. I think that we have everything in place to basically do all the modifications necessary for State Highway Department. We've secured gas. We've also secured the electric. But we have basically asked the governor to give us a capital improvement grant of about $4 million to install the necessary water and wastewater infrastructure. If that doesn't work, we've also applied to the Economic Development Administration for a possible grant funding there. This will enable the contractors to come in and start work hopefully and break ground this spring. The county has also put forth the resources to put in a brand new wastewater treatment facility which will meet the highest nutritional standards according to MDE. So we're well on our way, and hopefully this Wednesday afternoon I will see if the necessary funds are in the governor's budget this year, and if they are, they'll be presented to the legislature for passage.
So it sounds like that's the biggest priority.
It is, yes. That's 1,185 acres. That place has been closed down for approximately 50 years, and we've worked diligently on it since I've been the executive to get this done, and I think we're going to cross the finish line.
Well, we will.
That's our biggest legislative issue. We basically have some other ones, but they pertain mainly to roads, and I'd also like to see some movement with rail transportation between Perryville and Northeast.
The rate of violent crime in Cecil County is lower than both the state and national averages, but still people's perception of crime is often driven by what they see in the news and on social media. What is the county doing to improve safety, and what can people do to assist those law enforcement efforts?
What we've done primarily is we have a new sheriff, Sheriff Scott Adams. I mean, he's in his second term now, but he's been very effective. He's basically rearranged the schedules. He's basically offered more incentives to the police officers or sheriff's officers. We've tried to basically support them financially and also educationally. We've rearranged their schedules to basically correspond more with the crime in certain areas, especially according to the hours that the crime takes place. We're doing everything we can. One of the biggest issues, and I must say not a big issue, the biggest issue is our location between Baltimore, Philadelphia, in close proximity to Wilmington, Delaware.
And 95.
And 95, you're absolutely right. You can be in 3 different states within a half an hour.
Yeah.
People see Cecil County as an area where they can stop by, drop off their drugs, receive payment in a relatively secure neighborhood, and be back to where they go. Pretty much all of the crime that you're seeing in Cecil County is almost exclusively associated with drug transportation, drug usage, or drug distribution.
So how do we go about, or how does the county collaborate with the state and other state law enforcement?
Well, Cecil County basically has a high classification, which means we're a high impacted drug area. We work closely with the Maryland State Police. We work closely with the FBI and the other organizations with drug enforcement which deal with drug issues. We have people, or basically officers, that work undercover in certain areas to help locate the drugs before they even show up here. But it's very, very difficult to get them. because of judicial readjustment acts. They many times classify these people as being drug addicts and basically do not seriously prosecute them the way that I would. It's a big, big issue. It's in Cecil County, Harford County, throughout the state of Maryland, and throughout our nation, I'm sorry to say. It's something I believe which will be resolved over time, but this is a generational crisis. We need to put more time, effort, and money into education and prevention, because the treatment is very, very difficult to maintain. The people commonly relapse and go right back to the same hazards. And then once they get out of the detention center, they go back to the same environment. And once they've been convicted of these crimes, most people won't hire them.
Right. It's very difficult for them
It
to
is.
find jobs.
Very, very difficult. Or basically get a job which will provide the necessary living.
Right. Later this month, you'll make your annual State of the County address. Without spoiling any surprises, can you give us an overview of what you'll say?
I'll recap all of the positive things that have happened in Cecil County in the last 2 to 3 years. We have major accomplishments in terms of buildings we've built and people that we've employed, the revenues that we've brought in, infrastructure that's been created, the fact that we built new schools, building a new library, or putting water and sewer on the Route 40 corridor. I'll basically put up these things. This past year, there was a difference of close to $10 million between what our expenditures were and what our revenues were. I'm putting the revenues forth to basically recondition most of the roads in Cecil County, or help to do that. That's something that hasn't been done significantly in probably close to 10 years. I'm making significant investments in the fire companies and emergency services. And those are things I'll talk about. I want people to know that they have a very bright future here. We've created lots of good jobs, lots of great opportunities. If there's anyone in Cecil County who's unemployed, it's because they don't choose to have a job. We have an abundance of jobs, and we're getting more all the time. We've started and we've broken ground to basically to do the things that will make Cecil County truly successful moving forward. I don't think we'll ever have to raise taxes again while I'm the county executive.
Anything else to add?
No, not right now. I'm very excited about where we're going and what we've done and where we are.
Well, it's good to have you back.
Well, thank you, and you have a happy new year.
You
and
too.
thank you for the invitation to be here tonight.
And welcome back to 30 at 6. We have really a great segment coming up now. Bill KIlby talking about the Cecil Land Trust. What's new with the Land Trust, Bill?
Well, I'm not quite sure where to start, but just last week we were awarded a grant from the state of slightly over $1 million to spend for land protection in Cecil County. We have a program called the Rural Legacy Program, and this particular area that we're actually sitting in is part of that area, and stretches from Fair Hill to Rising Sun. And the objective is to buy what we call conservation easements on primarily farms, and that means that it will stay, the easement will enable the farm to stay in agriculture for perpetuity. So we're excited about that.
I have a question, Bill.
Yeah.
The farms that are, Dr. McCarthy was talking about the enterprise zone. Are there farms also in the enterprise zone in different parts of the county, or just above the line there?
Well, they're above the line, but it's funny you should ask that, because we have considered an enterprise zone kind of system for farms too, which is basically what this does. It encourages them to stay in farming and to start new businesses.
Right.
And then the other thing we're working on, and many people may have seen it, are some of our stream restoration projects. The most visible one is probably out on 273 at Fair Hill. And so the next one we're going to do, in fact, is starting this year, will be on Long Green Farm, which is just a stone's throw away from where we're sitting. The Crothers family has about 560 acres that are actually as part of the rural legacy there in land preservation. And now they're going to do stream restoration on approximately 10,000 feet of tributaries feeding into the northeast watershed.
Wow.
So that's a lot, and we've, it's been very successful and is doing the kind of job it's supposed to. This will be our sixth project, actually. So we've done some over the past 4 years. Another interesting thing would be, I heard Dr. McCarthy talking about doing programs for youth, and one of the things that we're doing on two of our preserved farms are, we have a sporting club, Mount Pleasant Sporting Club, that Cecil Land Trust helped form, and they are presently involved in having youth learn about the outdoors, not only hunting and fishing, but just enjoying the outdoors. For instance, last year we had a 5K race on the farm, and had about 40 young people take part in that.
Now, I saw the video on the computer that you guys recently had made, and it showed some of the stream restoration projects and best practices, no-till and all that kind of stuff, and the cross-country kids and the hunting kids. That's all good stuff.
Well, we hope so. I mean, one of the things we decided when this crisis in drug overdoses in Cecil County started taking place, that we think that every person who has the ability, every citizen of Cecil County, should do something to try to help alleviate this. And one of the things we think, of course, doing is working with the youth so that they have something to do with their time that they become passionate about. And the other part of that is that we're working with a Patsy DuPont estate to start a riding academy at Fairview Farms, which is up in Fair Hill area, where we will help young people here, regardless of whether they can pay or not, to learn to ride.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's great riding a horse. I started when I was young, and I did it for quite a few years, and I haven't done it in many years.
Yeah. Well, it's something that especially girls like to do, and we want to make that available. We also are working on food systems at West Nottingham Academy. We have a program where we recycle food waste from the academy, and in turn they buy local foods from the farmers. So it's something that we would like to get the county school system to get involved in, and so we're working on that. And so you talked about our video that you saw. We've done a series of videos actually concerning agriculture in Cecil County, and the one you saw was the latest, and we hope to make it'll be on our site, our Facebook site, so people.
Cecil County Land Trust.
Cecil Land Trust.
Cecil Land Trust, okay,
Yes.
Cecil Land Trust. And you're having a Robert Burns dinner coming up.
We are.
Very
So
soon.
what we do with the Robert Burns dinner, this is our third one, and we get about 250 people out every year to eat haggis and drink whiskey and listen to bagpipes. So the purpose of the dinner Robert Burns was a poet, and he was a farmer poet called the Ploughman Poet of Scotland, and he wrote a lot of verses, which we have Charlie Zam there, who is a local celebrity, and
Right.
he'll be singing those songs, and we'll have bagpipes, and we'll have other entertainment, and we want to celebrate the gift of good land. It's about celebrating what's good in Cecil County as far as the land is concerned.
And that's $50 a ticket. It goes to support your outfit on
Right.
January 24th.
24th next
Where is
on
this?
Friday.
Where will it be?
At the Walls Center at the Fair Hill Nature, or at the
And-
Fair Hill Management.
Right,
area.
sure. And if they want tickets, they can contact Cecil Land Trust,
They
right?
can, yes.
Great.
So that was pretty much what I had to say. Do you have any more questions?
No, but I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go the haggis route, but I'm going to try it one of these days.
Well, it won't
People
be-
like it, right?
Well, I'm not sure is the correct word. People eat it.
People eat it.
People eat
There's
it.
other good stuff, though.
Well, they're supposed to eat it on Robert Burns' birthday.
Yes.
It's a tradition.
It's good luck.
So yes.
And the Cecil Land Trust is a good outfit. I'm sure that $1 million will stretch over the course of the year.
Well, it's never enough.
It's never enough.
We need about $5 million.
And you have a bike ride coming up the end of April?
In April. Yes, the last
also to
Saturday.
spread awareness and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's a chance for people to ride through the rural legacy area and see what's happened, see what it looks like. They'll be able to stop at an Amish farm for a break. The bikers will.
Right.
And they'll get to talk with the Amish people, and so it's it's covers. You can go 60 miles if you want to, which takes you to Port Deposit and back from Fair Hill to Port Deposit.
Down that hill and then up the other one, right?
Right.
Wow. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us on 30 at 6.
Thank you, Bob.
And welcome back to 30 at 6 for a Cecil TV favorite. My good buddy, the Hedgehog, Dell Lord. Dell, welcome to the show again.
Good to be back again, Rob. My goodness.
How many times have you been on the show?
I guess this is the 10th or 11th time. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you always bring another tune to the show. You've got a different instrument this time. That is your...
This is a mandolin. Yep. And it's very, very popular with old-time traditional country and especially with bluegrass. Yeah.
Cool. Now, they have a special name for that, don't they?
Well, back in the hills, we used to call it a dandelion.
Because...
It looked like a weed, or it pops up, the sound pops up like a weed.
Okay. So you're going to play a couple tunes that you wrote for the show tonight.
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. You got other news. You have going back to your roots in Maryland here, kind of.
Yes. I moved from Northeast to come back to my favorite old-time country town of Rising Sun.
Rising Sun, and just in time for Bog Turtle Brewery to open up.
Oh, I know. I got to check that out, Rob.
I think that'll be awesome. So, maybe you can play a little music up there.
Yeah, that would be great.
So, you got the dandelion here. Mm-hmm. And the hedgehog has seen his shadow, or not?
Not yet. It's been too darn cloudy today.
We haven't had winter yet anyway, really, to speak of. Anyway, anything else you want to share with our viewers? Because I'm thinking we ought to get right to the music.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that this first song is called Cecil County. And the second one is called Grasshopper on the Mandolin. And of course, these are all my own original instrumentals that I wrote. And I just wrote the Cecil County today, and Grasshopper on the Mandolin. Let me give you a little thing about that Grasshopper on the Mandolin. I was out playing a bluegrass festival.
Right.
So I got away from the music for a while. I laid the mandolin down in the grass, and with the case open, and I heard this. And I looked down, and there was a grasshopper on the mandolin.
Wow.
His legs was kicking the strings.
Right.
And that gave me the inspiration to write the song.
That is awesome. Let's get right to it. Thank you, Dell.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Howdy, friends. This is Dell Lord, the old hedgehog. This first song is entitled Cecil County. right here that it's called Grasshopper on the Mandolin. Thank you all. God bless you. Don't forget to pray.